Hello and welcome to the Inside Luxury Travel podcast with me, Varun Sharma. Genuine hospitality in association with Hoteliers Global. In each episode, I speak with the leaders, innovators, and personalities behind global hospitality, exploring their journeys, their perspectives, and what truly defines great hospitality today. Today's guest is someone who has helped shape some of the most respected brands in luxury travel over nearly 4 decades. Sheila Donnelly Theroux is the founder of SDA International, a boutique communications company that has launched over 100 brands globally, working with the names like Four Seasons, Taj, Swire, and Oberoi. Her work combines storytelling, culture, and commercial impact built entirely on reputation and relationships. Sheila, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
It's lovely to be on your show. Thank you very much for
Okay,
inviting me.
so regular viewers to the podcast may be wondering why I'm wearing this rather garish shirt, but it's in your honor, Sheila. Where in the world are you today?
We are in the countryside called Pupukea in Hawaii. A little land, a little water soaked, but drying out. The sun is coming out shortly. It's early in the morning. And it's as beautiful, as calm, and as inviting as ever.
Okay, so obviously Hawaii has had a few issues with the climate recently. The weather, it's been rather windy and watery. Are things getting back to normal, Sheila?
Slowly, they are. It has been so wonderful to see the communities all in an old-fashioned, non-tech way, reaching out and helping people. I had a conversation with a friend yesterday who's looking for boots. And I said, boots? And he said, yes, because everybody's tromping through the mud in their living rooms and in the neighborhoods, and we don't have boots. A lot of people don't wear shoes. We're pretty
Exactly.
casual. So we're madly looking for boots.
Okay, well, I'll try and send you a.
By the time you send them, it'll be sunny
Oh,
again
perfect.
and we won't need it. Yeah.
Before we discuss your career, just let me into, your lifestyle in Hawaii. What makes Hawaii so unique?
It is like everywhere. It's the people, it's the land, it's how you care for the land, it's how you care for each other. But I can say that the essential Hawaiian culture here, we're a melting pot, we have everybody. We're very much like England. Everyone has been coming here though for hundreds of years. So it's a melting pot of mixed races and individual races, but there's a harmony. But the essential core is I think that Google once was asked at what a moonshot is, and without sounding really corny, it's the aloha. It's the welcoming, it's the sweetness, it's the fact that when the minute you arrive, you smell flowers in the air. It is an
The pineapple
uncaring
juice. The
pineapple juice. Everybody loves the pineapple juice, but it's the really welcoming sweetness of the people and the ability to laugh. I always like being with Hawaiians because they know how to have a good time.
Yeah, I was Sheila. I was brought up on Magnum PI in the 80s.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when I first came to Hawaii, I was blown away because my expectations were blown away. Anyway, we get off my life and your life here. You've launched over 100 brands globally. What is the
Yes.
one thing you look for that tells you that this brand will succeed?
It is the ability to focus on the place and the people over scale. Scale became the magic word. Multiples. I'm going to open one shop, then, and to prove that I'm successful, I've got to open a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. And that's okay. That's really is realistic. But when the measure of success is simply and solely the spreadsheet, you lose the essential reason people came to begin with, because you don't take care.
See,
And
I'm
it is
thinking,
the care.
yeah, sorry, I'm thinking here, Adrian Zecker, when he started
Oh.
Aman, that's exactly what it was all about. It was individual, it was small, it was staff were important, it was connection. And now suddenly it's gone crazy and it's lost a bit of the original Aman. And I can imagine, you've worked with names like Four Seasons, Oberoi's. What makes those brands truly great and stands above the others?
Their gut. In Hawaiian, we call it their mana'o. It's their gut. Where is their gut? Is it in their heart? Is it in their brain? Is it in their smile? Is it, have they lost the sense of emotion? And are they focusing on how people are welcomed and how they belong? Or are they focused on access? If they stay human, the human scale, if they understand how much people come, not just because the right people come, not just because they've got the mileage numbers, but or that they've got the social media posts to fill. But if they come for the right reasons and you remind people what the right reasons are, that's the success. That's the enduring success. It's not the instant success or the access success. It's the long term. So the vision and the ability to look into generations. There's a Native American belief in the 7-generation rule. And that is whatever you build today, you're looking 7 generations into the future. If they have that, if the scale is about the future and people and not about the volume of profit, which of course is important,
Yeah,
but it's not,
shareholders. Always
it's
shareholders.
exactly. And it's educating your shareholders too, that what they take home is for the future.
Yeah, not only for them, but for
Mm.
their children, their grandchildren, their great-great-grandchildren. Well, that's an interesting take. I quite like that. It's obvious to me by your answers so far that you are a storyteller. And it'd be fair to say that the age of storytelling is unfortunately waning. I think that's the word I was looking for. Um, what
It's
does
commoditized.
yeah, well, that's it. I mean, what does effective storytelling actually look like in commercial terms?
In commercial terms, the most effective storytelling is not commercialized.
Okay, an example?
An example is what I went to a few weeks ago. which was a luau. And the commoditized luau storytelling is one in which you see a lot of song and dance, and there's a pig that comes out and is dressed and it's ritualized. And I think the ritualization of storytelling is essentially made people aware to stop just talking about things in adjectives and describing or superlatives, but to actually going deeply into it. So, one of the storytellings in this new concept of a luau is that it takes you into a backyard, a concept of the backyard party. The Hawaiians always did parties in their backyard, and they would go sometimes go on for days. So, in this particular one, a young girl is talking to her grandmother, and they're telling the story of how the Americans came, military with guns, and they took over the queen. They took over the palace. Imagine if that happened in London, that a queen was captured by a foreign military organization and kept in a dungeon where the people came to let her know what was news. They brought her flowers every day, secretly wrapped up in newspapers, in the daily newspapers, so that she could go and know what was happening outside in her kingdom. That storytelling and the dance of the song that she wrote while she was in prison was very moving. So the quality and the thought behind the story and the authenticity, a word I've come to hate, but haven't found another one, is the magic, I think, of really effective storytelling. When there's intention and purpose, and your intention and purpose is to tell people the real story and one that's meaningful and one they can relate to. When I saw that, and I knew the history of this, but I didn't know the story. And that's what makes, I think, the difference.
Now, you are a queen in your own right, queen
Ah,
of a queen of public relations. 40 years is a pretty long time to be
it's really long.
um and your business has been built on referrals and relationships.
Yes.
It's not about, pitch, 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 like it is done in a modern way. Would you say that it's your authenticity that has made your business so successful?
We insist on it. We're not for everyone. I've done a lot of corporate things, and of all the corporate people that we've worked with want this kind of a relationship. They want the truth. They want to know what's coming down. It's a very personalized relationship that we have. They become family. Lots of times with clients, we have started off with them. And when the senior leadership has gone to another company, they've taken us with them. They've told carefully, they've shared us with their friends who would appreciate the same kind of mindset. So it's very, our staff are small. We once were large, not large by large standards, but large for us was 16.
Okay.
Now, and then I found that I was managing
Yes.
the complications of 16 different personalities all together and travel schedules. And I love to practice the art. So we love the people that we work with. We know them. We know their families. and we go with them for a long time. If they come out of the business, they come back to us when they come back. So it is
Sheila,
a different way.
communications is an art. I see a lot of communications at the moment, which is very, very corporate, and some clients want that. I mean, they want to have KPIs. They want
Yes.
to appear, for instance, in Travel and Leisure or the New York Times. You see things in a different way, and you've created, major editorial moments in your career. In today's world, how does a story land in the New York Times, for instance? Has it changed over time?
Oh, really differently now. I mean, they're younger staff, they're fewer staff, they're shorter stories. It's hard to go deep. Relationships, there's hundreds of us now, thousands of us now. So when we knock on the door, you're knocking with 25,000 other people. But I think the success with major titles like that involves a few practices of the dark arts. And one is patience.
Yeah.
There's one story that ended up being a cover. It was actually in India, a cover story and a full page with the New York Times, which of course doesn't. It was in India, and it was with Taj, and the fact that they had taken over a village. They had come into a village that was starving. They were so poor that they were selling their glasses, and they were weavers. They were selling their sewing machines. They had sold everything and was starving. So they went in there and they thought, we can help this village. So the first thing they did was they bought them glasses so they could see again. Then they brought them machines. Then they gave weavers work. And in the work, what they did was they had them make uniforms, saris for the staff, and they opened a handicraft store so they could sell the products. And the products were just gorgeous. So I thought this was a New York Times story. And they said, no, it's not. Tash said, no, 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 it's too far. That's not going to work. I said, no, 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 no. I'm patient. It took 2 years. I found an Indian writer, a superb Indian writer in New York who went home regularly. So because, I don't have, they won't accept airfare. So she also was fashionable. So she understood the crafts and she understood a love of fabric. And she went back. She met the people who were creating the program. She went and met the weavers. And she did this remarkable full page story about the weavers. And they said, we didn't believe you. We didn't believe you. I said, it's patience.
So what you're saying basically, it's not necessarily it's about the number of rooms. It's not about the service or the restaurant or the Michelin stars or whatever. There are stories out there that people want to read about. Now, let's be fair about this. You are married to the greatest travel writer of this generation, if not of all time, Paul Theroux. And anyone who doesn't know the name must be lived under a rock. What would you say you have learned from his travels, and what would you say he has learned from your travels?
What I have learned from him is simplicity. That if you simplicity and observation. Because he's amazing, an amazing observer. And my life has been early couched in luxury, which is encumbered with stuff. We have private airplanes, we have flowers on pillows, we have the finest brands and champagnes, we have with stuff. And he's the opposite. So I have learned the pleasures of walking, of getting in a car with your little bit of stuff behind you, driving and stopping and finding a hotel wherever you are. And it's not always fancy. Some of it's really, really simple with, the plastic bowl of Cheerios for breakfast.
But it's authentic. That word that you hate.
It is complete. It's totally your story.
Okay, but
the other thing that he's taught me is to write down the memory.
Okay,
so those three things.
And what has Paul Theroux learned from Sheila Donnelly Theroux?
How easy travel can be in the luxury world.
Yes,
I see. We were on a private jet, and it was mine for the day, for the trip. And he said, he looked at me and he goes, "Oh, I always want to come here with you." Because it was so easy. Going through an airport then was easy, and what I did was easier. So the ease of with it, because he does it the hard way.
Yeah.
And I do it the easy way. But I do it, I don't want to say mindless, but his way is mindful.
Yeah.
And mine is easy.
Okay. I don't really obviously want to talk about Paul, because this is all about you. But it's interesting, we use that word influencer now. But through his writing, before the internet was here, he was one of the original influencers. Whereas now an influencer is a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that there is still room for travel PR, travel journalism, travel writing in the day of influencers and AI? I am meeting so many people who don't travel, who can write articles from other people's travels. Is there still room for us original people?
I think that 2026 and the first quarter we're living through is a real recalibration. And that everything is going to change. People are stopping. They have to stop. The CEOs are stopping. There's an article in Skift magazine by the CEO, Rafat Ali, which I have to read like 4 times because I don't even completely understand everything that he said. I just know that it's really important, and that for all of us, what's happening today is changing everything. I think that there's levels of peak travelers. There's the level of writers, and there's level of PR people. There's some who are selling drinks and bars, and this is not the case in London, but in the United States. I read an article about the fact that the amount of drinking that is going on in the US has dropped by 58%. Yeah, how's that? Shocking.
And what's the major reason? Is it financial?
Health, vanity?
Health?
No, it's health and vanity.
Okay.
You want to live long, and you want to be healthy, and all of those good things that make you in many ways kind of boring.
Well,
because if you're always seeing things as is, you never let loose.
Yeah, you need those beer goggles, as we call them over here in England. Saying that, my papa is 89 years old. He has a peg of whiskey every night at 7 o'clock. The doctor said to him recently, Vijay, you've got to give up drinking. He said, I am 89 years old. I am not giving up my... Okay, finally, final work question. What does great hospitality mean to you personally?
Well, if I can say something that doesn't sound like a commercial, I'm working on a project which is so futuristic. And there's a man by the name of B.B. Baumgartner who's been 28 years in the business and was the president of Six Senses and has started a project called the Discover Collection, which we're on the verge of launching. And it's kind of, looking backwards. The properties are sometimes 9 rooms. It's a membership. And it's about a mindset as opposed to mileage. It's an access. So it's a very different thing. It's not about club as much as it is about belonging. And it's about small properties, a vineyard owner, a prince, a celebrity, that they're not the traditional kind of scale big organizations. It's very much like Adrian, and isn't it wonderful that he's starting again in Japan?
Yeah.
It's just remarkable. He's just ageless. So he is. So that 21 of these 21 of these people who own a vineyard in France, who own or a building in a tiny little place in Africa, in Oman, in Ras Ahmed. And people have to know about it, want that kind of experience with nature, care about the environment. And I'm seeing the fact that there's definitely room for scale, but that there's also a kind of a return to the future, looking back, because that's how it all began. It began as mom and pop. And then it's scaled up. This is a different way of looking at it. It's remarkable, it's refreshing. And it's all about the people. We've been working on launching this for 2 years, over 2 years now. It's amazing.
And
that we're all in sync.
It's going to be a success. Unfortunately, we've got to leave it there. But I'd like to thank you for your time. And anyone who's thinking about visiting Hawaii has to contact you, because you are the one who knows everything there is to know about that beautiful state.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sheila Donnelly Theroux, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very, very much indeed.
Thanks for being so much fun to talk to.
Thank you.